Learning SQL concepts and practically writing SQL queries are two different things. You may be comfortable with SQL concepts, but until and unless you write different types of SQL queries using different types of SQL concepts, you will never truly get the hang of SQL. And that is why I have come up with 9 SQL queries which I have posted in my blog, in my website. So I'll leave a link to that in the description below. So what I have done there is I have specified each of the 9 SQL queries. I have mentioned what is the problem statement. I have told you what the table data looks like and what is the approach that you need to take to solve a particular SQL problem. I've also mentioned what is the expected output, and also all of the scripts and the table data and the table structure can be downloaded for each of those SQL queries. So do check that blog out. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of those SQL queries and try to solve it right now so that you can see what is the thinking behind solving a particular SQL problem and what is the thinking behind using certain features of SQL to solve a particular problem. All of these queries are ranging from intermediate to complex level. And as you may already know, we always can solve a particular SQL problem using multiple different approaches. So I have followed my approach, but if you think you can solve the SQL query using a different approach, then please leave a comment below with your approach, or either in this YouTube video here or in my blog. As always, before I start writing queries, if you like what I do, then please make sure to subscribe to the channel and give a thumbs up. Thank you, and let's begin. So the first thing that you need to do in order to access all of these 9 SQL queries is you need to go into my website. So just type techtfq.com and then go to blog, and there you would see a blog saying learn how to write SQL queries, practice SQL queries. Just click on that and you will see this blog. So I'll leave a link to this blog in the description below. As you can see, I have all the 9 SQL queries mentioned here. So in the beginning, I have this problem statement where I mention what type of queries you are expected to write. Then I mention what is a table on which you need to write this query. If there are some additional conditions that you need to handle when writing this query, then it is mentioned under the notes section. Then I also explain the approach that you can follow in order to solve this query. Of course, there can be different approaches that you can follow to solve the same query. This is just my approach. And then I have the table data that is showcased here. So this is basically the table data, how the data currently looks. And then you need to write a query which is going to result in this particular output. So this is basically how the output looks, this particular section here at the bottom. Finally, I also have this button where you can download all the script. So all the table structure, the table data, and also the final SQL query is all available in this script here. So you can just click on that and download a .txt file. So you can just click on that and it will ask you to save the file. So you can just save it. And then if you go to the download section, you will find it here. So you can then open this script in any of your editors. So you'll find all the script that you require to solve the particular problem. Okay, so this is how my blog is written. I have 9 different SQL queries mentioned here. Maybe in time I might add a few more queries to this blog, so stay tuned. So now let's try to solve the very first query here. Okay, so the query states here that write a SQL query to fetch all the duplicate records in a table. Now, this is one of the most common questions that you can be asked when you're attending an SQL interview. So let's see how we can solve that. Okay, so let me go into my pgadmin. So I'm using PostgreSQL. You can use any database and the query should basically work fine. So let's say I'm just wanting to see the data in that table. So the table is users. So as you can see, I have 5 records here. So this is basically the data that is present in the users table. So I have the user ID, username, and email. The user ID is a primary key, so it has unique values. But then the username, this is where you will find some duplicate users. So I have Sumit, Reshma, Farhana, Robin, and again Robin. So Robin is actually duplicated. So if I go back to this query, it's under the notes, it's mentioned that record is considered duplicate if a username is present more than once. So I have clearly mentioned that if there are repeated usernames, then that is a duplicate record that you need to fetch by writing a query. So there are a few ways that you can write query to fetch duplicate records. If you look at the script that you can download from my blog, I have mentioned 2 different solutions, but I feel the best way to find duplicate records is by using a window function, and I'm going to show you the method of using a window function to find duplicate records. Okay, so let's first look at the data and understand what we need to do. So I have 5 different usernames and 4 unique usernames. So basically the first thing that I need to do is I need to partition my data based on the username. So what partition does is it will create a particular partition for each unique value of the record. So let's say if I create a partition for this column, that is username, then it would end up creating 4 partitions. One partition for Sumit, one for Reshma, one for Farhana, and one for Robin. And once I create a partition, let me try to give a row number for each of the record in that partition. Since these 3 names are unique, so it would have row number as just 1 because there is only one row for in those partitions. But when I create the partition for Robin, this will have 2 records. So when I use the row number function, it would end up having the first record would have row number as 1, the second would have row number as 2. And then by using this row number, so any row number that is anything other than 1, I will be able to identify all the duplicate records. Okay, so this is the approach, and let's see how we can write that. So I have my table select star from users. So let me just write my window function. So since I want to find the row number, I'm going to use the function row number. So row number does not have any arguments, and then I need to use the over clause because whenever I'm using window function, over clause is mandatory. So inside my over clause, I need to partition the data, right? So partition the data based on username. So I'm just going to say partition by user name. Also, let me order the data based on user ID. So I'm just going to say order by user ID, and I'm going to name this column something like RN, which stands for row number. Okay. Now if I execute this query, you can see that I have the data and I'm getting all the row number, but this data is not ordered properly. Okay. So this order by that I entered here is basically the order by for each partition that I have created. Okay, but it's not the order by for the whole query. So in order to apply order by for the whole query, I'm just going to use an order by here. This is not mandatory, just so that the data looks more cleaner for you to analyze. Okay, so I'm just going to say order by user ID. Okay, now if I execute this, you can see that now the data is ordered. So all the user ID is ordered in the proper way. So I have the 5 records. So, and for each of these 5 records, I have a row number column created, and you can see that when SQL created this partition, for each partition where there was only one record, it would end up having only one row number. Okay, so Sumit, Reshma, Farhana, they're all having only one row. So hence the row number is always 1. But for Robin, for this partition, there are 2 records. And for both records, SQL will try to give a row number. The first record will get the row number as 1, and the duplicated record will get the row number as 2. Okay, so this is our first step. Once we have come up with this data, what we need to do is we need to now use subquery. So basically all the results that we have got from this query, we are going to park it inside a subquery, and then in the main query, we'll make sure to fetch only the records where the row number is 2 or where the row number is anything other than 1. Okay, so we get all the duplicate records. How we can do that is I'm just going to say select user ID. I'm just going to write all the columns from, and now I'm just going to park all of this query into my subquery. Okay, and I'm going to give an alias like X. Okay, so this query here returns me every record from the table, and it gives a row number to each of them based on the username partition. And then from this, I only want to fetch the duplicate records. So in order to fetch the duplicate records, I can just say x.rn. X is my alias for this query here, and then rn is the column which has this row number. So I only want to fetch the row number which is greater than 1. So any row number that is 1, I can say that these are the unique records. Okay, and any record which has a row number other than 1 or greater than 1 can be said as these are the duplicate records. So now if I execute this, you can see that it's only fetching the record as the record where the user ID is 5 and the name is Robin. So this is basically the duplicate record. So this is one way of fetching a duplicate record from a table. Okay, and if I go back to my blog, you can see here this is the expected output. So this is what was expected, and this is what we have got. So we have basically solved the first query. Now let's go to the next query. So I'm going to skip the second and the third query because they are pretty similar to the first one. Not exactly similar, but if you are able to solve the first query, then the second and the third query should not be that difficult. So let's go to the fourth query. And the fourth query, the problem statement states that from the doctors table, fetch the details of doctors who work in the same hospital but in different specialty. Okay, so Let's say I have this is my doctors table. Okay, so let's look at the doctors table in my post PG admin here. So let's say select star from doctors, and you can see I have this data. So maybe let me just zoom in this data. So you can see the data here. I have basically details for 6 different doctors. The doctor name is stored in the name column, and then their specialty is mentioned here, whether they are Ayurvedic doctor, homeopathy doctor, physician, etc. And then I have the hospital name where they are working, and then their city and their consultation fee. Now our requirement is that we need to find doctors who work in the same hospital but in different specialty. Okay, so basically what we need to do is we need to compare each record from this table with every other. So let's say I need to compare the first record with every other record of this table. Okay, so whenever you have this type of requirements where you need to compare the data of a table with all the different data of that same table, this is where you need to use a self join. Now, what is a self join? Self join is when you join the same table to itself. Okay, so let's see how we can use self join to solve this problem. So in order to use self join, I just need to use the same table twice and give 2 different alias to it. So let's say I'm just going to say select star from doctors, and I'm going to give an alias for this as D1, and then I'm going to join again the same table, that is doctors, and this time I'm going to give an alias like D2. So I have used the same table 2 times, and I need to now join these 2 tables. This is where you need to be extra cautious, because since the 2 tables are exactly the same, you would have the same number of records in both these tables, correct? So what we need is, when we are processing the first record from, let's say, D1 table, we do not want to compare that same record in the D2 table. Okay, so Dr. Shashank from D1 should not compare its data with Dr. Shashank present in the D2 table. Okay, in order to do that, because if we do that comparison, then that record will always match, and it is not what we are looking for. Okay, we are trying to compare a particular record from this table with all the other records from that same table. So to do that, we first need to identify which is a primary key here. So in this case, the primary key is ID, that you can see here. So I need to make sure that the same record does not get matched with each other. So for that, I just say d1.id not equal to d2.id. So once we have done that, next we'll try to add our filter based on which we want our result. Okay, so what we are trying to do is we need to fetch all the doctors who work in the same hospital, okay, and in different specialty. Let's first try to use this same hospital filter. So we are trying to find doctors who work in the same hospital. So Dr. Shashank works in the hospital, Apollo Hospital. So do we see any other Apollo? No, nothing. Even Dr. Abdul here works in Fortis, but there is no one else who is working in Fortis Hospital. But if I go to the record number 3, Dr. Shweta, I can see that she's working in KMC Hospital, and I have another doctor who is Dr. Murphy, who is also working in KMC Hospital. So this record should get matched. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to match the hospital column from these 2 tables. So I'm just going to say d1.hospital equal to d2.hospital. Okay, so now with this, it will match all the records where both the doctors or any doctors are working for the same hospital. Okay, now this is fine. After this, I have another condition, because as per the query statement, it tells me that find doctors who work in the same hospital but in different specialty. So I do not want to find doctors who work in the same hospital and also have the same specialty. I only want doctors who work in the same hospital but different specialty. So another condition here is the specialty condition. So for that, I'm just going to say d1.specialty, and this time I don't want it to match. It should not be same as the other doctor. Okay, so I'm just going to say d2.specialty, and this is not equal to here. So now if I just execute this, okay, so I did a typo here, so let me fix that. And now if I just execute this, you can see that I'm getting the correct number of records, but the number of columns are a lot, and this is because I'm using a star here. So when I'm using a star and I did not mention the alias, it will fetch all the columns from D1 table as well as it will fetch all the columns from D2 table. So let's just change it to D1 dot star, because basically these both are the same table. I just want columns represented from any one of these tables. So I'll just say D1 dot star, and now if I execute, you can see that the columns are fine. And you can see the records. Basically, I'm extracting the two doctors, Dr. Shweta and Dr. Murphy, who basically work for the same hospital, KMC hospital, but their specialties are different. Okay, so this is basically how we have solved this query. Okay, so initially it might look a little tricky when you have only one table, and how would you compare the data of the same table with itself. And this is where you need to use the self join to find out the required result. Okay, I hope this was clear. Now in my blog, along with that particular query that I have written, I have also mentioned an additional query which you can solve. I have the script in the attachment here, but you can try to solve it yourself. So any of these queries, if you are trying to solve and if you don't get the output, or if you are confused of how it is working, especially for the queries which I do not cover in this video, you can leave a comment either in my YouTube or in this blog, and I'll try to help you guys. Okay. So let's now proceed to the next query, and let's try to solve the query number 5. The problem statement of query number 5 states that from the login details table, fetch the users who logged in consecutively 3 or more times. Okay, now let's look at the login details table. So let's just try to understand this data here. So I have this table here. I have login ID, username, and login date. What this query statement is telling is fetch those users. Okay, so fetch the users, only the users. It's not asking you to fetch all the other details from that table. Just fetch the usernames who logged in consecutively 3 or more times. So basically meaning that in this table, if a particular username is present consecutively 3 or more times, then you need to extract that user. So if I go here, Michael is present once, and then James, and then I have Stewart. Okay, so Michael and James are present just once, so I can eliminate them. And the next is I have Stewart. Stewart is present in the record number 3. I have Stewart present in record number 4, and I have Stewart present in record number 5. So basically this user here, Stewart, should satisfy my condition. So this Stewart should be there in my output. Okay, so now let's proceed to the record number 6. I have Michael, then again I have Michael, but Michael is only present twice, because in the record number 8 I do not have Michael, but I have Stewart. So this here, Michael, should not be extracted because he's only present 2. I'm trying to fetch users who have been consecutively logged in 3 or more times, not 2 times. So Stewart logged in 3 times, so he gets shortlisted, but Michael only 2 times, so he does not get shortlisted. Similarly, when I proceed and I go to row number 10, I can see that I have a user James who has logged in 4 times in 4 different rows, and these are consecutive rows. So even James should be part of my final output. So basically, if I look at my output should look something like this. It should have Stewart and James, because these are the only 2 users who consecutively logged in 3 or more times as per the data that is present here. Okay, now let's try to write a query to do that. So let's just query this table, select star from login details. Okay, so I have this data here. So let's try to understand what is our requirement and what kind of concept or functions that we can use to solve this problem. Okay, so our basic idea is that for every user that we process, we need to see the user in the next record and also the user in the next to next record. Okay, and if the user that is present in the current record, the following record, and the record following the following record, then we need to record that user. Okay, we need to basically fetch that user. Okay, so what kind of functions do we have in SQL which can perform this task? And the function that we can use here is the lead function, which is a window function. So what lead can do is, even when you're processing, let's say record number 3, using lead, we can identify what is the data stored in record number 4 or what is the data stored in the record number 5. Now using that, we can compare the 3 different data, and if it matches, then we can fetch that user. Okay, so let's try to write a query for that. So what I'm just going to do is, since I need to compare the data from the current row with data in other rows, I'm just going to use a case statement so I can do a comparison. So I'm just going to say case when username. So this username would be the username for the record that is currently being processed. So let's say we are now processing the record number 3. Okay, let's imagine. Basically, when SQL processes a record, it will process record from the first record till the last record. Let's say SQL has already processed the 2 records. Now we are in record number 3. Okay, just for the sake of explaining this concept. Now, username in this case would be Stewart, and we are trying to match it with the username in the next record. So in order to find the data in the next record, I can use the function called as lead, and I need to pass an argument here, which is basically the column. So the column again I want to fetch here is username, and then I need to use an over clause because this is a window function. So in the over clause, I don't want to partition this data based on anything because I want all of this data to be treated as a single partition. So that is why I'm not going to use the partition by clause, but I need to order the data in the login ID order. So I'm just going to say login ID. Okay, and let that be in the ascending order. That is fine. So basically I'm comparing if the username is same as the username present in the next row, then it kind of matches my first requirement. The second requirement is that I also need to match if the username in the current record is also same as the username in the next to next record. Okay, so to do that, I can again say user underscore name equal to, and I can say again lead of user name, but this time lead by default will always look for the very next record. Here we need to now look for the record, not the next record, but the next to next record. So basically 2 records after the current record. So 2 records after the current record, we can just pass an offset here saying that 2. So offset is basically a second argument in the lead function. So if by default this would always be 1, that is here by default it would be 1. But if I want to explicitly ask it to look for some other record, then I can mention the offset, basically how many rows after the current row. So I'll say 2 rows after the current row, and then again I use the same over clause. So I say order by login ID. Okay, so here I'm matching the current user with the next user, and here I'm matching the current user with the next to next user. And if both of these conditions will be successful, then I want to fetch that user. Correct? So I'm just going to say if it is successful, then I'm going to say user underscore name. But let's say if it is not successful, okay, else I want to print it something like, let's say null. Okay, and then I'm just going to say end, and I'm going to say this one like repeated users. Okay, so now if I just execute this query, so I'm getting some error. Let's try to solve that. Okay, I missed an order by clause. So order by, and now if I just execute this, okay, so you can see that I'm getting the output, and if I just expand this, you can see I'm getting the output. And what's happening is it's basically seeing who are the users who are repeated 3 or more times. So here Stewart is repeated 3 or more times in this particular row, third row. Similarly, if I go down and see the user James, I can see that he's also repeated. So James is repeated here 4 times. So when it comes to row number 10, it sees that it will compare the row number 10, 11 and 12. So James will be successful here. These 2 conditions will be successful. So it will print username in this repeated user column. And when it comes to row number 11, it will again compare row number 11, 12 and 13. Again, James will be, these 2 conditions will be met and it will print as James. And when it comes to row number 12, it will just compare the current record with the next 2 records. There is basically no next 2 records, there's just next record. So that is why it does not print James here, it will just print null. Okay, so basically wherever it finds a user who is present 2 or basically 3 or more times, it will print that user. For every other case, it will print as null. Now we just need to make sure that from this query we only fetch those users and we don't fetch the users the repeated users who are having the value as null. Okay, so to do that, I'm just going to place all of this into a subquery. So I'm just going to say select, I'll say all the column names from, I'll just say this table. So I'm just going to place this into a subquery here. I'm going to give an alias to this, something like X. And from this, I only want to fetch those records where the repeated users are not null, correct? So I'm just going to say where X dot repeated users is not null. Okay, so now if I just execute this, you can see that I'm getting 3 records, But okay, as per my query, I was supposed to only fetch the user. So it's asking me only to fetch the user. This is also very important. Sometimes you might be asked to fetch all the records from the table, sometimes only a specific column. So just follow that. So in this case, we only want to fetch the username. So I'm just going to say select from the username. And now if I run this query again, it's fetching the username, but James is repeated. Okay, but we do not want James value to be repeated here, because we basically are trying to find the users who logged in 3 or more times. So just a unique username would do. So I'm just going to use a distinct clause here. And now if I execute this, it's returning Stewart and James. And if I go back to my blog here and I see the expected output was Stewart and James, and that is what we have got from this query. So let's go back to our blog, and I'm going to skip this query number 6 and let's just go to query number 7, because I just want to explain the queries which I find, which I feel are slightly different from each other, so you get an idea of everything. And if I try to solve each and every query that is there in the blog, the video is going to be too long, so I just want to keep the video as short as possible. So let's just solve the query number 7. But let's say if you're trying to solve questions which I have not covered in this video, and if you're stuck, please leave a comment below, and if required I can make another video covering all the other SQL queries, and also maybe add on a few more queries. Okay, so let's try to solve the query number 7. And if we read the query, the problem statement, it tells that from the weather table, fetch all the records when London had extremely cold temperature for 3 consecutive days or more. Okay, so it's basically asking us to fetch the records where temperature of London was extremely cold for more than 3 days. Okay, or 3 or more days. And there is a note here saying that weather is considered to be extremely cold when its temperature is less than 0. So this is basically our filter condition. In order to identify which data is considered as the extremely cold temperature, we just need to find the temperature where its value is less than 0. Okay, so let's look at the data in the table. So you can see here I have the table, I have few columns, I have the city name, I have the ID, I have the temperature in that city, and also I have the date. Okay, what I need to find is, as per the query statement, fetch all the records. So in the previous query it asked us to fetch just one particular column, but here it is asking us to fetch all the records. So we basically need to identify the records which satisfy this condition, and the condition is that when the temperature was less than 0 for 3 or more days. And from this data I can see that the first 2 records the temperature is less than 0, but the third record is temperature is greater than 0, so this record does not get included. And next, if I go to record number 5, I have -2, record number 6 I have -5, and record number 7 I have -7. So these are the 3 consecutive days where the temperature was less than 0, and these are the 3 records that we basically need to have in our output. Okay, so if I look at my output, this is basically what it's telling. Now let's try to write a query to solve this. So let's first look at the data in that table. So the table name here is select star from weather. And if I look at the data, I have 8 records. Before we write the query, let's try to understand what we are trying to achieve and how we can achieve that. Okay, so every time we process a record, first thing we need to check is if the temperature is less than 0. So this is our first condition, correct? Yes. And after that, we also need to check if the temperature in the next record is also less than 0 and the very next record is also less than 0. If all these conditions are met, then we need to extract that whole record. So what we are going to do is, every time we find a match, we are going to create a flag column which is going to have something like yes or no. Okay, meaning it will be yes whenever we say that our conditions are met, and finally we'll only fetch those records where the flag is yes. Okay, so to do that, what we are going to do is, I'm just going to say select star from weather. Okay, I'll fetch all the columns here for now, and from here I need to add a function. So again, I need to compare the data in the current row with the data in the next row and the data in the next to next row. Again, we can use the function that is lead to do this kind of comparison, okay, which is a window function. So let's do that. But since we need to compare the data from one row to another, we need to use a case statement. So case statement to compare the data between different rows. Okay, so what we can do is case when, I'm just going to say temperature. Okay, so temperature is less than 0. This is my first condition, right? The temperature of the current row. So this by default will be pointing to the current row whenever whatever it is processing. It will check if the temperature is less than 0. If this condition is met, only then look for the next condition. So what is the next condition? The next condition is, and look for the temperature in the next row if it is also less than 0. So in order to find the temperature of the next row, we are going to use the lead function. So here we are going to pass the column as temperature, and again I need to use the over clause, and I don't need to partition because I need to consider all the data as a single partition. So no partition by clause here, but I need to order the data, order by ID. I'm getting the temperature from my next record. I need to check if its temperature is less than 0. So this is basically what I'm doing. I'm getting the temperature from my current row here. I'm getting the temperature from the next row here, and I'm comparing it with 0. Again, since I also need to compare the data of the next to next record, I am going to use this lead function again here. Okay, so I'll pass it again, and this time by default, as I told you, lead will look for the very next record because by default its offset value would be 1. This is how the default value looks like. But for the next to next record, I need to change its offset value to 2. So I'm just going to pass 2. So it's going to look for 2 rows after the current row. So 2 rows after the current row, it's going to look for the temperature, and it's going to see if the temperature is less than 0. If this condition is met, then what I want is, I want it to print something like then yes. Okay, something like this. And then if it is not true, okay, if it does not hold true, then I want it to print like, let's say maybe null. Okay, and then I'll just say end this case statement, and I'm going to give a name for this, something like, let's say flag. Okay, so I'm just creating a flag column. What this flag column will do is, if for a particular record, if the temperature in that record, the next record, and the next to next record is all less than 0, then it's going to return yes, else it's going to return null. Okay, now let's just run this and see how the output looks like. And now you can see that we basically, the expected output is these 3 records, correct? Because we know that these 3 records are having the temperature where 3 days at a row the temperature was less than 0. But from this query, we only were able to flag one particular column, one particular record, that is record number 5. Why? Because record number 5 compared the data with record number 6 and 7, and it found that all the 3 were having temperature less than 3, and it is able to extract it. But how do we make sure that it also extracts line number 5? Okay, so when the SQL will process the record number 6, this particular record number 6, it's basically trying to look for the next record, which is -7, and then the next record, which is +5, and that is why it fails, and that is why it's returning null. So in order to solve this, what we need to do is, we need to add another case statement where it's not only going to look for the next record, but it's also going to look for the previous record. Okay, so to look for the previous record, we need to use the lag function. So let's see how we can do that. So what I'm just going to do is, I'm just going to copy this whole case statement, the whole case when statement, and I'll just paste it here. Let's imagine that we are processing the record number 6 here. Okay, so I'm checking if the temperature is less than 0. So this is true. Then I want to check if the temperature in the previous record is also less than 0. So in order to check the temperature in the previous record, I'm going to use the function as lag. So this will check if the previous temperature is less than 0, which is true in this case, so that will be fine. And after that, I also want to check for the next record, that is the record number 7, if its temperature is less than 0. For that, again, I'm going to use lead, but instead of 2 rows next to the current row, I just want it to look for the very next row. Okay, so now if I run this, okay, so let me just remove all of these extra lines and let me just run this. If you are not able to see this, okay, so this is my query, and if I run this, and now you can see that the SQL is now able to identify that record number 5 is true because this record 5, 6 and 7 are less than 0. Record number 6 also is true because it is getting passed by the new case statement that we added, that is the current row, the previous row and the next row is all less than 0. But the record number 7 is still not holding true. Why? None of these case statements are holding true for that, because we need to add another condition where we will check not only the next two rows or not only the previous row and the next row, we also need to check the previous two rows. So for that, whenever we are trying to process the record number 7, it needs to look for the previous record as well as the previous to previous record to see if the temperatures are 0 in all the 3 records. Okay, so for that, I'm again going to add another case statement. So I'm just going to copy this whole thing and I'm going to place it here. And this time, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use lag. So so let's say we are processing record number 7. So record number 7 is less than, temperature is less than 0. This holds true. Next we need to check for the previous record. So we'll do a lag of temperature, which will be -5, and this will check if it's less than 0. That holds true. And now we want to check for the previous to previous record. So again, we're going to use lag, and here we wanted to check for 2 records prior to the current row. So I'm just going to say (2), the second argument here. And hopefully this record also should now get flagged as yes. Okay, so let's just remove all the blank lines and run this whole query. And if I just run this, now you can see that out of all our data in the table, the data that we actually wanted to fetch, it's all having the flag as yes. Okay, because of all these conditions. So now finally we need to make sure that we put all of this query into a subquery, and then from the main query we only fetch those records where the flag is yes. Okay, again, I'm just going to select all the column names here, and I'll just pass everything into the subquery here. So, and I'm going to give an alias to this, something like, let's say X. After this, so this whole thing is my subquery, and from this I only want to fetch those records where the flag is having the value as yes. Okay, so I'm just going to say where X dot flag equal to yes. Okay, now if I run the whole query, and if I just show it, so if I run the whole query, and you can see that it's now only fetching 3 records. So basically this is what we wanted. So if I look back at my data, these were the record number 5, 6 and 7 were the records that I wanted to fetch, because these are the only 3 days where consecutively the temperature was less than 0. And this is exactly what was expected from the output, and that is what we have got from this query. Hopefully this query was clear. Now let's move on to the last query in this video. Okay, so I have another query here, query number 8, which I'm not going to solve. You can have a look at that in my blog. Again, if it's not clear, you can leave a comment below, and then I can explain, or I can make a separate video if required. And the query that we are trying to solve now is the query number 9. So let's try to understand the problem statement here. So it's telling, find the top 2 accounts with the maximum number of unique patients on a monthly basis. Okay, so we have a table called as patient logs. Okay, so if I look at the patient logs table, you have something like an account ID, then I have the date, and then I have the patient ID. What it is telling is you need to find the top 2 accounts who have the maximum number of patients. So each patient may be linked to a particular account. They want to know which is that account who get the maximum number of patients, but maximum number of unique patients. And they want this data to be segregated on monthly basis. But here we don't have a column something like month, we have the date column. So we need to segregate the data for each month. Okay, so let's try to first analyze this data before we write the query. Okay, so let me go back to my pgadmin and let me just query that data. So select star from patient logs. So let me just pull this up, and you can see that I have something like 9 columns. So before I write this query, right, let's try to analyze this data, okay, because it might just get a little confusing if you don't analyze this data and try to understand what exactly you're trying to achieve. So let's say I want to segregate the data just for my understanding. So I say I want data in the monthly basis, right, and then I want the account, okay, and then I want the number of patients, okay. So for, let's say if I look at this date here, I can see that I have date for 2020 Jan 02, Jan 27, then I have something there, here I have for March 4th. So I have Jan and March. These are the only 2 months. So for Jan I have around 8 records, and for March I just have this one particular record. So let's try to analyze the data for Jan. So I have for Jan, now let's look at each account. Okay, so I have uniquely, there are 1, 2 and 3, there are 3 accounts. So let's say for account number 1, so this is this record, and this record. So this 3 record belongs to the account number 1, and let's say I'll write it 1 for the month of Jan. So this last record here belongs to the month March, so we'll ignore that. For the month of Jan, there are just 2 records, so meaning that there are 2 unique patients. The patient ID is 100 and 200, so number of patients is 2. And let's say I'll also write another column here, unique patients. Okay, so unique patients is also 2. Okay, now let's say again for the month of Jan, let's look at the next account. So the next account here is the account number 2, correct? So for this account number 2, all the data is belong to Jan. So, and I have totally 4 number of patients, right? 1 2 3 4. So for account 4, account 2, sorry, I have 4 patients. But out of these 4 patients, if you see 300, 400, 300, 500, 300 is repeated. The unique patients are just 3. So unique patients are 3. Okay. Now, similarly, if I look for the next account, so let's say account number 3. Okay. I have 2 records here. Both belongs to the month Jan, and both are having 2 unique patients. So I can just say for the month of Jan, account 3 has 2 patients and both are unique patients. Okay, and now finally for the month of March, I only have 1 record here, and it belongs to the account ID 1, and the number of patients are again 1, and unique is also 1 because there is only 1 record. So from looking at the data, I have analyzed that this is how the data looks like. Okay, now from this data, what I need to identify is I need to identify the top 2 rows or the top 2 accounts who have the maximum number of unique patients. Now just by looking at this, I can say for March it should fetch this whole record because there is only 1 account. So we are trying to fetch the top 2 accounts. Since there is no 2 accounts, this record itself should get extracted. So this should be there in our output. Now other than that, for the month of Jan, I can see that I have 3 accounts here. Out of these 3, I need to fetch the top 2 accounts only. Now if I just look, the account number 2 is having the highest number of unique patients, which is having 3. So this one I should definitely fetch. So I can just say this one is yes. Okay, and this is also yes. And now in these 2, that is for account 1 and account 3, I have a tie because both are having 2 unique patients. Okay, so among these 2, which record should I fetch? So if I go back to my SQL query statement, here I have a note saying that prefer the account ID with the least value in case same number of unique patients. So meaning that if there are some accounts who have the same number of unique patients, then fetch the account who has the least value. So among 1 and 3, the least value for account ID is 1. So I should basically, my output or my result should basically fetch this record. Okay, so basically from all of this data, we should only fetch 3 records. This should not be there. So this will be something like no. Okay, so the 3 records which are having S is what should be there in my output. Okay, now let's try to write this query. Okay, let's try to write this query step by step. Okay, so what is the first thing that we need to do? We need to segregate this data in the format of month, right? Here the data is having some date. We need to segregate the data for each month. So let's first try to convert date into month. Okay, so to do that, I'm just going to say let's say select, I'll just convert this, so date. Okay, I'm just going to use the toChar function. So we have the toChar function in SQL when you want to convert anything to character. So in this case we can convert date to characters. I'm just going to say the format as month, and that's all. I'm going to give an alias to this, something like month, and then I need the account ID, and then I need the patient ID. Okay, so this will be from my patient logs table. So if I just execute this, you can see that now my data, I still have all the 9 records, and it's fetching. The only difference it has done is from date, it is now showing the value in month, so January and March. The next thing that we need to do is I need to count the number of patients for each account for specific month. Okay, so let's just use a group by to group together the data for each account specific to each month. Okay, so for that, I'm just going to say select from, I'm going to pass this whole thing inside my subquery, and here I'm just going to give an alias for this, something like, let's say PL, which stands for patient logs, and here I'm just going to say I want to extract month, and then I want to extract account ID, and then I want to count the number of patients, right? So I'm just going to say count of 1, and let's say an alias something like number of patients. Okay, and I need to group together this data, so group by month comma account ID. Okay, so now if I execute, what basically it's doing is all this data is grouping together based on these two columns, and it's going to count how many patients are present for each distinct combination of these two columns. Okay, so if I just run this, you can now see that for the month of Jan, I'm having account ID 1. I see that there are 2 patients. For month of Jan, again for account ID 3, I have 2 patients, and account ID 2 has 4 patients. Okay, now if I just look at my data here, so this is a number of patients that it has returned here, but I need unique patients. Correct? I don't want to count the patients who might have been linked to the account multiple times. So I need unique patients. So in order to fetch the unique patients, what I can do is I cannot put a distinct here. It will not really, because this data is not duplicated. But the data that came from this initial query here, the subquery here the data is duplicated for the record this one and the record this one. These two records are basically the same because this is duplicated. So in order to avoid this, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to use a distinct clause here. And now if I run this, now I'm getting the data exactly how I wanted. Okay, for each month, for each unique account ID, I'm getting how many number of unique patients they have. Okay, so we have got this. Now from this, I need to identify who are the top 2 accounts. So in order to rank these accounts based on their number of patients, I'm going to use the window function called as rank. Okay, so I'm again going to put all of this whole of this query into a subquery, and then I'm going to use a window function. So I'm just going to say select star from, and I'm just going to move this to the right, and here I'm just going to give an alias for this, something like, let's say X. Okay, so what I'm doing here is select star from, and here I need to calculate the rank of each of this record. So for that, I'm going to use the rank function, because rank is generally what you use when you want to rank a particular record. And then I'm going to use the over clause because it's a window function. And here, do I need to partition the data? Yes, because I need to specify the data based on each month. So I need to partition the data based on month. So I'm just going to specify here like partition by month, and then I need to order the data. So how do I order? I want to give the highest rank to the account who's having the highest number of patients. So it should be based on number of patients. So I'm just going to say order by number of patients, and then it should be in the descending order. Okay, so and then I'm going to give this an alias, something like, let's say RNK. Okay, so if I execute this whole query, so it's fine. I'm getting the rank now here. Okay, so if I just minimize this, okay, so I'm getting the rank, and the rank for these 2 records are repeated. They are repeated because these 2 accounts are having the same number of patients. So if I just sort the data based on number of patients, the rank would be the same. So this is where I need to do something slightly different in order to rank these values not only based on number of patients but also based on the value present in account ID. So for that, I'm just going to use another column in the order by. So I'm just going to say order by account ID, and this time let it be in ascending order. Okay, so it will sort the data based on the highest number of patients and based on the lowest account value. Okay, so now if I just execute this, you can see that I have the account which the highest patient is having rank as 1, and then these 2 accounts who are having the same number of patients, but since the account value is lower here, which is 1, it's getting the rank as 2, and the next account is getting the rank as 3. Okay, so this is basically what we wanted. Now from this, we just need to fetch the records where the rank is either 1 or 2. Okay, so again, I'm going to put whole of this into a subquery. So I'm just going to say select, I'll write all the columns, put again all of this into the subquery, and here maybe I'll just say it like temp table. Okay, so after this, So this whole thing is into my subquery here, as you can see. Now from this, I just need to fetch those records where the rank is either 1 or 2. So I'm just going to say where temp.rnk in 1 or 2, any of these values, right? So if the rank is anything other than 1 or 2, then it should not get fetched. So now if I execute this query, you can see that I'm getting the 3 records. So basically the top 2 accounts for January and all the top 2 accounts from March, but March, since there is only 1 account, it's just fetching this. If I go back to my blog and if I look at the expected value, so it was January 2 and 1 and January 2 and 1. So basically I have got the output that I was looking for. Okay, so hopefully all of these queries has helped you to understand how to solve a query. If you liked this kind of videos where I go through a query and try to solve these queries, do let me know. Do add a feedback in the comment section so I know that you found it useful. And if you want me to solve more complex SQL queries, then do let me know that as well. Thank you and see you soon in the next one. Bye.